Good afternoon. This is Eric Chappell presenting Week 6 assignment for Public Communications. I will be providing information on how music education might benefit your children. There are many different opinions on whether or not there are any advantages to teaching music in education. I am here today to talk about some of the recent studies that show that there are some possible advantages to music education that can help our children excel in ways beyond the basic ABCs, and that it can have a major impact on the success of our children. Music education is more than just music. Research has found that learning music facilitates learning other subjects and enhances skills that children inevitably use in other areas. Mary Lou Reisen, Executive Director of the National Association of Music Merchants, otherwise known as NAMM, a not-for-profit foundation that promotes the benefits of making music, says a music-rich experience for children of singing, listening, and moving is really bringing a very serious benefit to the children as they progress into formal learning. Making music involves more than just the voice or fingers playing an instrument. As a child learning about music has to tap into multiple skill sets, often simultaneously. For instance, people use their eyes and ears, as well as large and small muscles. Kenneth Gilmartin, co-founder of Music Together, an early childhood music development program for infants through kindergartners that involves parents or caregivers in the class, says music learning supports all learning. Not that Mozart makes you smarter, but it's very integrating, stimulating pastime or activity. Music education helps language development. When you look at children ages 2 to 9, one of the breakthrough in that area is music's benefits for language development, which is so important at that stage. Says Lou Reisen, while children come into the world ready to decode sounds and words, music education helps enhance those natural abilities. Growing up in a musical-rich environment is often advantageous for children's language development, she says. But Lou Reisen adds that those inborn abilities need to be reinforced, practiced, and celebrated, which can be done at home or in a more formal music education setting. According to the Children's Music Workshop, the effect of music education on language development can be seen in the brain. Recent studies have clearly indicated that musical training physically develops the parts of the left side of the brain known to be involved with processing language and can actually wire the brain circuits in specific ways. Linking familiar songs to new information can also help imprint information on young minds, the group claims. This relationship between music and language development is socially advantageous to young children. The development of language over time tends to enhance the brain that helps process the music, says Dr. Kyle Pruitt, clinical professor of child psychiatry at Yale and practicing musician. Language competence is at the root of social competence. Musical experience strengthens the capacity to be verbally competent. Evidence shows a possible increase in IQ. A study by E. Glenn Schellenberg at the University of Toronto, as published in 2004 issue of Psychological Science, found a small increase in the IQs of 6-year-olds who were given weekly voice and piano lessons, drama lessons to see if exposure to the arts general versus just music had an effect, to a second group of 6-year-olds, and no lessons to a third group. The children's IQs were tested before entering the first grade, then again before entering the second grade. Surprisingly, the children who were given the music lessons over the school year tested on average 3 IQ points higher than the other groups. The drama group didn't have the same increase in IQ, but did experience increased social behavior benefits from the music-only group. Music education also makes the brain work harder. Research indicates the brain of a musician, even a young one, works differently than that of a non-musician. There's some good neuroscience research that children involved in music have larger growth of neural activity than people not in music training. When you're a musician and you're playing an instrument, you have to be using more of your brain, says Dr. Eric Rasmussen, chair of early childhood music development at Peabody Preparatory of the Johns Hopkins University, where he teaches a specialized music curriculum for children aged 2 to 9 months. In fact, a study led by Ellen Winter, professor of psychology at Boston College, and Gottfried Schlag, professor of neurology at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center at Harvard Medical School, found changes in brain images of children who underwent 15 months of weekly music instruction and practice. The students in the study who received the music instruction had improved sound discrimination and fine motor tasks, and brain imaging showed changes to the networks in the brain associated with those abilities, according to the Dana Foundation, a private philanthropic organization that supports brain research. Research has also found a causal link between music and spatial intelligence, which means that understanding music can help children visualize various elements that should go together, like they would do when solving a math problem. We have some pretty good data that music instruction does reliably improve spatial temporal skills in children over time, explains Pruitt, who helped found the Performing Arts Medicine Association. These skills come into play when solving multi-step problems one would encounter in architecture, engineering, math, art, gaming, and especially working with computers. Music education shows some improvements in test scores as well. A study published in 2007 by Christopher Johnson, professor of music education and music therapy at University of Kansas, revealed that students in elementary schools with superior music education program scored around 22% higher in English and 20% higher in math on standardized tests, compared to schools with low-quality music programs, regardless of socioeconomic disparities among the schools or schools districts. Johnson compares the concentration that music training requires to the focus needed to perform well on standardized tests. Aside from the test scores results, Johnson's study highlights the positive effects that a quality music education can have on a young child's success. Lou Reisen explains this psychological phenomenon in 2 sentences. Schools that have rigorous programs in high-quality music and arts teachers probably have high-quality teachers in other areas as well. If you have an environment where there are a lot of people doing creative, smart, great things, joyful things, even people who aren't doing that have a tendency to go up and do better. And it doesn't end there. Along with the performance results on concentration-based tasks, music training can help with basic memory recall. Formal training in music is also associated with other cognitive strengths, such as verbal recall proficiency, Pruitt says. People who have had formal music training tend to be pretty good at remembering verbal information stored in memory. Being musical is better. Music can improve your child's abilities in learning and other non-musical tasks, but it is important to understand that music does not make one smarter. As Pruitt explains, that the many inherent benefits to music education include being disciplined, learning a skill, being part of a music world, managing performance, being part of something you could be proud of, and even struggling with a less than perfect teacher. It is important not to oversell how smart music can make you, Pruitt says. Music makes your kid interesting and happy, and smart will come later. It enriches his or her appetite for things that can bring you pleasure and for the friends you meet. While parents may hope that enrolling their child in a music program will make her or him a better student, the primary reason to provide your child with a music education should be to help them become more musical, to appreciate all aspects of music, and to respect the process of learning an instrument or learning to sing, which is valuable on its own merit. There is a massive benefit from being musical that we don't understand, but it's individual. Music is for music's sake, Rasmussen says. In conclusion, the benefit of music education is about being musical. It gives you a better understanding of yourself. The horizons are higher when you're involved in music. Your understanding of art and the world and how you can think and express yourself are also enhanced. Thank you very much.